Let us go through the processes of resource management knowledge area in a diagrammatic way. Our first process is plan resource management. It will create the resource management plan, noted as RESMP. The resource management plan tells you how you are going to manage the resources, both human resources, which are your team resources, and non-human resources, which are your physical resources. So the resource management plan is actually internally divided into two plans: team management plan and physical resource management plan, or it can be a single combined plan. However, this plan talks about managing both the human as well as the non-human, or the team and the physical resources. Now the resource management plan will next act as an input to estimate activity resources. So the name itself is saying estimate activity resources. In other words, we are estimating the resources needed, team as well as physical resources needed for the activities primarily. And the key output is resource requirements, which is primarily the resource estimate or the resources needed for the activity, though it can be for work packages as well. And that is why it is not saying activity resource requirement, but simply resource requirements. Other key output of estimate activity resources process is your resource breakdown structure, or in short RBS, which tells the type and the category of resources in a breakdown format. Now this resource requirements, we know how many resources are needed, will next act as an input to acquire resources process. And to this process as well, the resource management plan is acting as an input. So in acquire resources, we are acquiring both the team resources and the physical resources. And as you acquire, we are not only acquiring, we are also assigning. And that is why the key output is project team assignments. Another key output is physical resource assignments. And also the acquire resources tells you the resource calendars information, that is the on and off days and the holidays for the resources. Next, you take the project team assignments, this one particularly, and you move to the next process of develop team. Now in develop team, you have also the resource management plan acting as an input, as you can see. Now in develop team, actually we are doing our development for your team members. Train them, motivate them, guide them, and as you do that, the key output here is the team performance assessments. And here we decide to give the recognition and rewards to the team members. Next, we take this team performance assessment, and that acts as an input to manage team process. Now to manage team process, also the resource management plan is acting as an input. Here the actual performance appraisal of the team members happens. That is, you actually give the reward and the recognition. And while doing so, you might have change request coming in the output. Now the physical resource assignment, which is coming from acquire resources process, is also acting as an input to control resources. And here also you have the resource management plan acting as an input. This control resources process is particularly for your physical resources, which checks that whether the physical resources are available as planned, and also checks the resource utilization for the project. And it is possible while controlling such things, you might have change request coming in the output. Now as you can see, the resource management plan, once it is created, it is acting as an input to all the subsequent processes of the same knowledge area. Of course, it will be under the PMP umbrella, but this plan will be in focus. Another key output is the team charter that comes in plan resource management, the team charter, which will have the team values, the rules, and the acceptable agreement among the team members. So overall, this is the flow of interaction among the processes in resource management knowledge area. As I said earlier, I give a diagrammatic representation so that you understand how actually they are interacting. I have cut down a lot of information from here, because if I populate with all the information, it will be very confusing for you. So knowingly it is simplified and telling you in a diagrammatic way how they are interacting with each other. The detailed discussion with respect to the key and important ITTOs for the processes we'll be having in the subsequent set of videos.